Good morning and welcome to Today in LA. My name's Mike Amos. I hope that you're doing well on this Thursday as we move on through June like it was nothing. The 27th day of June, and of course a lot going on in our community. Still a lot of baseball and softball. The Ponytails have won their district. The Darlings have placed second in their district championships. That means they're going to the state, and most all of these Troy teams are heading to the state tournaments, which is a great example of the quality of baseball and softball we have here in Troy. Of course, a lot of teams getting ready. Last night, was a huge game for the Troy team as they beat Opp 12-11 in 8 innings to win the championship. So congratulations to that team. We're going to break that down a little bit this morning and give you an idea of who some of these folks are that are playing in these tournaments. The Troy Ponytails raced out to out of the first base dugout on Tuesday evening after Kyle Wilkerson converted the final out of the championship game at the Troy Sportsplex. Troy knocked off Opp 12-11 in 8 innings to claim District 6 championship. It was the second of 2 wins on the day. Troy defeated Crenshaw Christian 5-2 in a must-win game in the opener. Troy found themselves down early in that game, 5-2, but bounced back to take a 10-5 lead, line up to tie the game as Troy overcame adversity, and Troy lost their first game in the second game of the tournament. From that point on, Troy rattled off 4 straight wins to win the tournament. Let's go to our phones this morning. Good morning. You're on Today in LA. How you doing?
Hey, morning.
We're talking about Troy softball, and these softball teams continue to win, and the Ponytails have beaten a very good Opp team. With their head coach Jimmy Sellers, and their team will be heading now to the state tournament. And some of these games are going to be played. These state tournament games are going to be played in Troy. The Darlings also won their way to the championship, and we were going to mention them this morning. And they're coached. They got a second place finish, but it still allows them to go to the state tournament. Some players on that team: Leah Dixon, Morgan Gardner, Reese Tompkins, Lexi Grace Chandler, Ava Mitchell, Charlie Kate Smith, Emma Moultrie, Abigail Stroud, Addison Townsend, Palomo, Kane, Kayla Beecham, Alexi Hatton, and the coaches are Mike Hatton, Steve Stroud. Head coach is Scotty Chandler and Tom Smith, and those guys did a great job. The Darlings now are at home on the. They'll be playing in the state tournament coming up. We'll give you more information on that. The 6 and under state baseball tournament will start on July the 5th. That'll be played right here in Troy, I think. And the Ozone State tournament will be played on the 12th. So most all of the Troy teams are still in it, Mike. They've won district play, and several of them are going ahead and playing in state competition. So it'll be a lot of fun. A new turf coming to Troy University. This is big news. And
yeah, I saw that on Facebook yesterday. of the new turf, and looks really good. John Hartwell really made a mark with that power tee, didn't he?
Yeah, he really did. What do you think about it?
I think it looks good. They've got, I think on the 35, they got the swords, like little swords out there crossing each other. And then they got the Larry Blakeney field and then the Sunbelt logo, and looks good.
What I like is the red end
I
zone.
like the tee. I feel like that's kind of Troy's logo now. I tell my wife all the time, I said I'm always amazed how many tees I see, up and down 38 just driving about. So there's a lot of college kids, it looks like, working down here for the summer.
Yeah, you're right. And see,
great place to work for the summer.
They use that college tee also as part of the parking permit, and that's why you see it so many places.
Yeah, I used to have the Trojan head for so many years.
Yeah.
I remember that. I remember seeing car after car, sometimes with 2 or 3 of them from just different years. They would change them up.
I want to mention, though, red end zones. That's what I like. It's going to add a lot of color to our stadium. That's what it was 8 years ago.
Are we Cardinal?
Well, Cardinal, that's what they call it. They call it Cardinal. And Cardinal with the south end will have Trojans, and the north end will show Troy in the end zone.
You know, article on AL.com, Troy AD, almost no one calls looking to play the Trojans anymore in football. So Brent Jones apparently did an interview talking about how it's difficult to schedule now due to the fact that Troy in 2 straight years has beaten Nebraska and LSU. So good article, and 16 comments made from various people about it as well. So that's pretty good for Troy on AL.com. Sometimes there's articles about Troy on there and nobody makes any comments. So,
what were the comments?
But he's basically talking about the games that are coming up, that we've talked about many times. North Carolina State, Missouri this year, Tennessee next year, South Carolina in 2021, Southern Miss in 2022, Kansas State in 2023, and then Clemson in 2025. So, which is understandable. Troy.
It would tickle me if they could say Troy was going to play. Don't get excited, but wouldn't it be nice to say Troy was going to play Notre Dame in 2018? I mean,
I would love for Troy to play.
Excuse me, not 2018, 2025.
Jones mentioned set the record on attendance last year. Last season, Troy averaged 24,000 fans per game. Remarkable achievement given the school has fewer than 15,000 full-time students. Pike County, in which Troy is located, has a population a little more than 33,000. Only Army and Appalachian State have smaller communities for a Division I program.
So Boone, North Carolina's smaller than Troy, is that right?
No, I always knew Army was.
Yeah, they too.
Yeah, I guess Appalachian State is as well.
Yeah.
That is an amazing thing. They recruit to Appalachian State in those mountains.
Yeah, they do, and it's beautiful up there. It's a beautiful campus, and they built quite a program. Again, that's exciting news.
We need to mention the SEC won another national championship last night. Bandy.
The Bandy Commodores are national champions.
Showed up last night and hit the ball and beat Michigan last night for their second national championship. They won in 2014, and now they've won in 2019. But of course, they were led by Kumar Rocker, who's Tracy Rocker's son, and he was the MVP of the tournament.
Well, congratulations to those Bandy Commodores. Is it Vanderbilt where the baseball field, down the left field line, you'll hit the basketball arena? Is that right?
Well, it's the football stadium. It basically backs up to, and then it's the outfield is, I think, near the arena. It's a real weird stadium.
I mean, it is compact.
They threw it in there, and then they got really good in baseball, so they had to start adding more and more seats, and they just ran out of land. They don't have any land at Vanderbilt University.
Troy has all-weather surface on their baseball facility, and they've had more I'm talking about big-time clinics and tournaments here all summer long. I mean, it started from the get-go, and boy, I mean, all of them have big, fine, fancy uniforms, and they come in from all over the country to play at Riddle Pace Field. Now, guess who else is getting a all-weather baseball surface, Mike?
I think we saw where Southern Miss was.
Southern Miss. Jeremy Light hours evidently and is putting one in.
How much you save on maintenance for money for ground crews and stuff.
No question about it. And also being able to get games in because of rain, because of the all-weather drainage, and so it really helps a lot. No question about it. Of course,
one thing I will mention last night, I was watching the baseball tournament, and I enjoyed watching it. And of course, Michigan had their coaches there and stuff like that, and then Vanderbilt had their coaches there. But pretty amazing, James Franklin, the Penn State coach, has been there for 3 or 4 years now at Penn State. But apparently, he has a great relationship with Corbin and Vanderbilt. He was there for all 3 of those championship games at the World Series. He's the head football coach at Penn State, but used to be at Vandy as the football coach, and that was a pretty big compliment that he would go to those games.
Yeah, no question about it. And he's friends with the Vanderbilt coach, or what?
Yeah, from when he was the head football coach at Vanderbilt.
Yeah, that's right. I remember when he was. That's a long time ago, wasn't it?
Well, that wasn't that long ago.
I know
4 or 5 years ago, I guess?
I know it. It seems like a long time, doesn't it? No question. But back to the stadium again, it's going to be a beautiful stadium. Gosh, with all that red now in the end zone, so it's going to add a lot of color, and then the big T, and they're also going to have the grass is going to be shaded. Every 5 yards it's going to be shaded. Have you ever seen that?
I think once or twice.
I mean, what I'm saying, it's a different blend, and it's really a good looking field.
Of course, a lot of people would probably like some of that old turf.
Yeah, I saw a truck riding down the road with some of it.
I had a piece of the Troy University football field.
Of course, Heller's construction of Austin, Texas, doing the work, and they did the same field at Los Angeles Rams, Dallas Cowboys, Los Angeles Chargers, Jacksonville Jaguars, Houston Texans, Miami Dolphins, and Oakland Raiders all have this same identical turf. So we're excited about it. This is going to be great. And I think, it's going to be a good way to get things started with a 6-game home schedule. I can't think of it being any better. Of course, we're talking about scheduling, and it's not easy for Troy to schedule because Troy will beat you. A lot of people won't, and I'm not exaggerating. They'll beat you. And teams, the last thing in the world a team wants to do is play a non-conference game in front of 80,000 fans or 100,000 fans and let this team from Alabama come in there and beat you. But
if you want to talk to somebody in the back, if they go on TroyTrojans.com, they can see the rendering of the new field.
Oh, it is? Okay. And I wish we could do that here. It would be nice to be able to show.
For you. You can see it.
Yeah, you can pull that up. How do you do it?
Just go to TroyTrojans.com, and it's on there. So
okay, TroyTrojans.com.
Put it on the screen for anybody wanting to look at it.
I don't know if we can do that or not.
I was looking at this yesterday. This is really good credit for Scott Cross. They ranked the top new 40 hires in basketball. Of course, there's probably like 330 teams in Division I basketball. But as far as the hires go nationally, this article came out, and this is the mid-major coaching hires. Scott Cross got number 5, which is really great.
Yeah.
It said some mid-majors was going to get a steal this cycle in Cross. He's fired at UT Arlington despite winning 72 games in his final 3 seasons. Remains a travesty.
And won 20 games his last year, Mike.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying he won 72 in his final 3 seasons. So
I know.
Average that out. That's almost,
Yeah, you're right.
23, 24 games a year.
That's right.
And then after a year on the staff at TCU, Cross makes his return to the head seat at Troy. A job without much history of success. Cross teams have always played fast and been tough, and those qualities should allow him to get things rolling quickly for the Trojans. So that's a really good national recognition with Coach Cross.
There's also a rumor about his son, a 15-year-old son, who will be a 9th grader. They say he can shoot lights out. And he plays out at Pike.
All the schools are bidding for his services.
Well, I think he's already enrolled at Pike Liberal Arts, but it's going to be fun to watch him play. Everybody says he's quite a player. Want to mention...
Play a little hard. They're in need of a new gym. That gym of theirs has got to be, since it was first built on campus, wasn't it?
Yeah, you're right. You're exactly right. And I don't mind continuing this conversation.
You probably...
Yeah, and they have seats just on one side. They're the old-fashioned. They're the old aluminum seats. That's what they've got, a nice school, but and they got a blue playing surface, which is nice. Pretty and all that. But they do need a gym. There's no question about it. Somebody out there with a lot of money. Yeah, somebody out there with a lot of money, go ahead and build them a new gym, because they deserve it. And, of course, if they're going to have a big-time program, Ponder they say, is as good a basketball coach as he is a baseball coach. That's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, I remember hearing he was a great basketball player.
And another thing about Ponder,
he's a new daddy now.
That's right, Ponder.
Completely.
Ponder is a daddy now, and congratulations, Alan, and his sweet wife, and watched them grow up, Mike.
You talking about the Ventress?
Oh yeah, those girls, beautiful girls.
Yeah, but I was seeing pictures of that on Facebook. How was your birthday yesterday, man? Where'd you go feed last night?
Well, I went to Mossy Grove, and I told them I wanted my steak.
You got a haircut and got a steak?
Now, she wasn't around, but let me tell you this, and I'm going to get myself in trouble, but the Mike Amos cut, I always, when I order a ribeye, I say I want it cut thick. They cut their meats, so they can cut it thin or they can cut it thick. So I said I want to cut it thick. It was an excellent ribeye, and I ate every bite. Well, excuse me, I gave your mama one bite. But now she got the fried catfish. She loves the whole catfish. She loves catfish. But yeah, I went to and had and ate a good meal on my birthday, and had served.
One hush puppy?
And had I didn't eat a hush puppy, but I had some.
You need a hush puppy? How do you go to Mossy Grove?
I eat a whole plate of them. That cornbread, yeah, those cornbread sticks.
Hush puppies,
or cornbread sticks, or whatever you want to, and they bring out the cornbread sticks and the
I'm a professional
beans, the white beans.
In this country, I've never had like a hush puppy cornbread like that. That's the best I've ever had in my life.
It is really good right here in Troy. Isn't it amazing how good of restaurants we have here in town? And we'll talk about them in a few minutes.
I was on the beach yesterday, and they were bringing in the boats, and I had the girls down there, and I was taking them over there. They were catching snapper and king mackerel, and they had some kind of different kind of snapper. I guess I'd have to ask Steve Camp. It was kind of a smaller snapper, but they're catching the fish down here on Grayton Beach. There's no doubt about it.
Now, let me ask you this. Somebody told me there were a bunch of shark down there. Is that true?
Yeah, the Desalog, I guess, had a drone or some kind of aerial picture, and second sandbars, there was 15 sharks spotted out of Grayton Beach swimming around.
Well,
but what do you expect? That's their home. So people tell you all the time they're out there. You just got to stay in the shallows. And I was telling my wife, I was like, my goodness, I said my brother and I, Law and I, Merriman, we were out there not too long ago when Camille and Macon came down, and he had Macon and Mary Prater, my daughter, and then I had Millie, and we were out there with no puddle jumpers, the little safety vest, and we were probably out there near the end of the sandbar. I was just like, man, I don't know how I'm doing that much more anymore this summer.
No, you got to be careful. But now the second sandbar is a pretty good ways out there, though, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, well, sometimes they're in between the first and the second sandbars, where it's that deeper water. Anytime you see darker water, usually they're out there somewhere. These are big. The pictures they showed, these are big sharks.
Let me tell you this, ladies and gentlemen, and I tell my son the same thing. I've been going to the beach I'm 72, turned 72 yesterday. I've been going to the beach since I was 16 years old, and I have yet to ever.
16
Oh yeah, we go down there. Yeah, I went to the beach. We went to the beach.
16. That's still.
Yeah, I caught a ride. I didn't have a drive. I rode somebody.
Old, though. You didn't go to the beach like when you were like 5 or 6 or younger than that.
No. The family went down there some, but that was, but to really know what was going on since I was 16 years old, and I have never, ever seen a shark swimming out in the Gulf. Now you can, and that's a lot of times I've been over those years. I mean, I've been hundreds of times, maybe thousands of times.
You're usually gonna see porpoises. No, I mean, do I see?
Now I see porpoises all the time, but I don't see sharks.
I see stingrays and manta rays every time I'm out there.
I have seen I don't even know if I've seen the sand shark out there. Swimming in the water.
I've seen baby sharks caught before on the beach.
Yeah, well, maybe caught. They may be caught, but I've never seen one swimming out there. And I, how I love the beach and I love the water. And I would go tubing and whatever, and go out.
We're famous for body surfing. Nobody can body surf like I was first string body surfer.
Well, I'll tell you this too. That
so who needs a boogie board when you got your own body?
Well, let me tell you this: I could ride the waves like very few people. I mean, and let me tell you this: and these were big, hard waves. I would dare get in there now. They scares me to death to walk out there in that when those waves are high, because I don't have my coordination like I once did, and you can really get in trouble if you don't watch out.
Yeah, it's been dangerous down here. Double red flags and
have you ever been slammed? Let me tell you something. Riding the waves, like
undertow. 3 people have actually died in Panama City Beach in the last couple of days.
Really, no question. All right, let's get a hold. You know who this is? Probably it's probably Will wanting to brag a little bit. Good morning. You're on Today in L.A. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Marcus. Max.
Max Howell, good to see you. Hold on 1 minute, Max. I'll be right back with you. All right, here we go now. We're going to go. All right, we still got you, Max. Did we get you, or we got you, Mike?
I'm on.
All right, hold on 1 minute. We're going to get you. There we go. Got both of y'all on. Is that right? Max Howell? Michael? Oh, boy. I thought I had both of them on. Say something, guys. Well. All right, Max, are you on?
I'm on.
Max, we got you on, too?
I'm here, yeah.
All right, then. Well, that's all I want to know. We got y'all on three-way speaker. Max, we're raving this morning. Troy's getting a new field playing surface, and they're going back to those red cardinal end zones. They're going to add a lot of color to the stadium.
All right. Well, that's every guy that comes in, Mike, wants to where they change the uniforms. That they got to make their mark.
Yeah, that's right.
Chip will be no different from that, and certainly I just hope there'll be an opportunity to celebrate in that red end zone. How about that?
That's right. Of course, it's just going to add color to it, and they've got this new surface that they've come out with. Of course, they swap this out every 8 years. They put the last surface down in 2012, and now 8 years later they're pulling it up and got a new surface, and it's going to.
We had the AD on yesterday, Brent Jones, and he said it only costs $500,000. I figured that would cost more than $500,000.
More than $500,000. Well, that's good. Mike, go ahead and write that check.
I mean, you see all these hospital teams that have the field turf all around Birmingham and other places.
Yeah.
I guess it's one of those things that they just have it in their budget.
Yeah. Well, and you and I have discussed this, Max. All of the junior colleges have artificial surfaces. Is that right over there in Mississippi?
And guys, when it started, it was a maintenance thing to begin with, and of course, then there's some that go back to grass and because of the injury factor, and there's always going to be some debate about it, and I think it's maybe serves some places better than it has others for various reasons.
For years and years, I probably no telling how many times on a Thursday night, and most people are watching the Thursday night college game on TV, where you have been in a junior college stadium on a Thursday night, maybe two or three. Some of them you can see, go for a half and then drive to another one. Is that right?
That is true. 14 in Mississippi that actually play college football.
Yeah.
So it's other than California, it's the most in the country, and I think from what I've seen in the California League, this one is way more competitive in Mississippi than it is out there.
Do they draw many crowds or anything? I know scuba.
It depends on the location and who they play in, Mike. It's just like high school in that respect as far as the crowd's concerned. The one here at Fulton, they'll draw 8,000, 10,000 almost every Thursday night. They play Northeast, which is just 30 miles up the road. They'll put 15 to 20 in there.
Oh, man.
So that's it. It depends on, who they're playing, what kind of record that team's got. And I've seen them down to 500 in a stadium, and I've seen 15,000 in a stadium.
And then, of course, a lot of high schools on Thursday nights, they don't have a game, so they'll go to see them play. And, I'm sure they got a pretty good fan base.
They do. Well, it is, and it's supported well.
Yeah.
Not only from the fan, but it's supported well locally and financially. They buy sponsorships for all the sports programs. We carried in my previous endeavor with the radio station. We covered all the ICC's athletic events. We did a live show after the ball game for them. So and it was well supported financially by the local community.
Of course, we're talking to Max Howell, one of the top football analysts in the country, and of course, we're so fortunate to have him call in once a week on our show and give us his expertise. Talking about the junior colleges in Mississippi and how good they are. Of course, no junior colleges in Alabama play football. Do you think that might change in the near future or in the distance?
It's all politics. It really is. It's all about the budgets. And I'm going to be honest with you. It depends on the administration. I'm talking about not just the junior college level, at the high school level, all the way through the Division I.
Yeah.
You go back and check when Texas was strong, when Southern Cal was strong. You go through the couple of years Arkansas had good football teams. Of course, Alabama's up there now. But those programs that have been at the top and then have fallen for whatever reason, I can almost guarantee you every time it was a change in administration at the top as far as emphasis is concerned. And there's a lot of ways you can place emphasis on a program. Financially, obviously, is first. But second is, they can give you support internally with counselors and all for academics, and they can help you recruit. And they can the administration can be an asset, or it really can be a deterrent for keeping that program either up or down.
Well, just the uniforms. The helmet alone. Mike, how much does a college football helmet cost?
I'd say average $500 a helmet.
$500 a helmet. And Troy, right here in Troy, they've got 4 or 5 different colored helmets. And they have 150 players, 120 players in the. And so look at the money there. Look at the money just in helmets.
It has to, Mike, that level has to be generated through contributions and/or gate receipts. And whatever shared, if you're in a league, and I don't know what the Sun Belt does on sharing finance. I know a lot about the SEC on how they split it up, 15 ways, not 14, 15 ways, because the office gets one equal share out of all the TV and bowl money. So, but if those are the things that generate the cash. And of course, they're always going to have some emergencies. They got to lean on some contributions from big alumni that can, didn't mind writing a check to the university.
Yeah, no question about it.
Ole Miss is tearing up the state of Alabama in recruiting. A lot of people are wondering if Hugh Freeze is back at Ole Miss because they ended up getting a great quarterback out of Hoover High School that everybody wanted. He was going to play baseball and football at Ole Miss, and then they got the kid out of Etowah that Alabama kind of released the commitment. The linebacker 6'5", 230, and now they've gone out to Spanish Forts and got their top receiver at Ole Miss. So somebody must be doing some recruiting at Ole Miss.
Well, we know where the fingers, Mike, will start being pointed once again when you jump back up there. And that, I don't have any, information on the inside what's going on.
I
Yeah.
mean, that Hoover quarterback is big time.
Now, let me tell you something about Ole Miss that's different than all the rest of them. They're a yuppie place. Hey, listen, they're a yuppie place.
Ole Miss allowed him to play baseball when nobody else going to allow him.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, there's a chance he could be a top, first or second round pick, and maybe not even go to Ole Miss.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
That was the way the big running back out of Jackson was. He'd already taken like $4 million. And put it in a trust fund for him when he graduated. He's going to go straight to pro baseball. But something got involved. I don't know whether the pros backed off or changed. I don't know what they projected on his projection. But he returned the money and went to Ole Miss to play football. So, there's some things internally going on over there. And you got to remember the guy. They bring Rodriguez in, check his background. He had a few bumps along the way. McIntyre was, Colorado. I mean, he was a Vanderbilt guy from way back with his dad. He's been around the block a while. So, you can't, it's hard to, you can't make accusations about it. But I agree, when they have not been at that level, except once in the last 25 or 30 years, and then they were slammed hard by NCAA, eyebrows will start to raise, I'll tell you.
Yeah. Of course, Max Howell is our guest, and he's been around it. In fact, Max, and as far as my memory goes back, you are one of the first innovators of colleges moving into the junior college to get players, especially in Mississippi. I mean, you used to recruit for Ole Miss, and you recruited about half your recruiting class, or maybe more than half of them, were junior college players, wasn't they?
Oh, yeah, the 89 and 90 class, I brought 11 junior college players in. 2 of them went to the NFL, by the way. But the reason they were there, it wasn't anything to do with athletic ability, it was academics. And in the state of Mississippi, if they graduate, if a kid goes to a junior college in Mississippi, this is by law, he graduates with at least a 2.0, the university has to admit him. Now, eligibility-wise for NCAA, that's another story. And I'll be honest with you guys, I recruited some that had to sit in front of my desk, and I had to put them on, on a computer program for the first semester to be sure they could, even get a chance to play.
Yeah.
But that was one of the reasons. And Billy Brewer was here. He's raised here, coached, went to Ole Miss, coached at Ole Miss. But for some reason, never saw fit to really go after the junior college player.
I want you to.
First manual on junior college recruiting. I sold the service to 100 universities across the country, and it worked very well. There's a stigma about taking junior college players, but there's some guys. Jackie Sherrill, when he was at Mississippi State, they made a living out of it and did very well.
Now, and most of
Coach Blakeney's last signing class at Troy. This is still unheard of and hard to believe. He signed 19 junior college guys in his last class.
I did not know that.
Only 3 freshmen.
I did not know that. That was unreal.
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
Yeah, Mike, let me tell you this, and Max, you're gonna get tickled about this. Max sent us 2 players, Mike, that turned out to be very good players when Troy just got into Division I. You sent us that quarterback from New Orleans, Max, that played at Ole Miss, and he was I can't remember his name right off. He's a great guy though, and Mike, you might remember him.
Brad Stevens?
Yeah, Brad Stevens.
Yeah, I recruited him.
All right, and Mike, and listen.
Was good, and then he sent us Leonard Wheeler.
All right, yeah, he sent us Leonard Wheeler, Max, who was an All-American.
Right, I recruited.
I mean, how in the world, though? I mean, I know you did it to help Troy but you were on Ole Miss's staff, weren't you? During that time, weren't you?
Yeah, I recruited both those kids.
And when Wheeler would go into the Hall of Fame, I mean, he was a great player,
Yeah, but here's what you have to understand. There's way more to it than just getting a kid to come to school. Some of them don't fit socially. Some of them have struggle academically. Some have parents problems where they can't travel. I can give you a list. There is no set reasons why a kid goes to a university or doesn't go university, are those and transfers.
Stephen's dad was one of the owners of 10K. Do you remember that drink, 10K? Everything around Troy for a long time was 10K, and he was a great kid.
Bringing on this, by the way.
Yeah, and but now one thing about a junior college, and people need to understand this. Now, to play Division 1A football, they have to graduate from junior college, don't they?
It depends on how they entered, Mike. If they're academically eligible when they come in, if they just there for to get extra courses, or they're there because they're half a step slow. No, they're not. If they're academically eligible for D1 coming out, they don't have to stay for one semester.
But you take a team like a Jacksonville State or like a North Alabama, they can get some of these players that Troy couldn't get because of those rules. Is that right?
Well, you know, that thing changes every year almost on academic eligibility. And they put the gray shirt situation in.
Yeah.
And there's a ton of reasons. That's what I said. Almost every case, it has to be evaluated differently. Of course, the average public doesn't know that. It goes across the board. He either went to junior college or he didn't. I took advantage of the rules. I studied them. One of the players were, and I did a pretty good job. One of the major feeders that we had, guys, was at Northwest. That particular guy named Bobby Franklin was an All-American.
That's right. I remember him.
Dallas Cowboys. Came back to be the head coach, but he really didn't get along because of their personalities. But I was able to get in there and throw 3 or 4 years every year from Northwest, and that really helped. But Bobby Franklin had a system, but I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
I used to laugh at him and tell him, I said, well, after I get through with D1, I'm going to junior college.
Hey.
I had never seen a junior college coach with a $2,000 pair of shoes and $1,500 suits on the
Hey,
side.
a lot of these teams could play with anybody. Hey, who?
It's hard to believe is that Bill Snyder built Kansas State into a powerhouse, and all he had was junior college guys out of Kansas.
Yeah.
And Kansas was horrible in football. It's surprising they couldn't get all those junior college guys out of Kansas as well.
Yeah.
But Mike, they don't go after them. Again, it's that philosophy at the top. That's why they noted, when Self was there and Williams was there in basketball. That's their emphasis. That's where they put their emphasis there. Every university, just because we in the South love it and think everybody, should feel the same. I can gather that on too many campuses.
Yeah.
About 15 years of my 25 was on the college level, and I'm just telling you, it's that's a different animal out there, and it's hard to make judgments on each program.
Max, I'm gonna throw out 2.
Mike, you and I've had that discussion about Jacksonville State.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you they don't want to go to Division I. They don't want to. They're happy where they are.
Okay.
You got to think less miles.
Can't believe. I'll go to my grave believing that they would jump at it the first chance they get. You watch them.
Don't make that decision, Mike.
But hey, it's a difference. It's a difference.
Big Mike turned 72 yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. Max, let me tell you about 2 schools that at one time nobody wanted to play because they had as good athletes as anybody. One of them was Central State of Ohio when Billy Joe was their coach, and the other one was Carson Newman. Hey, they were known for getting. I mean, those 2 teams. No school in the country wanted to play those guys.
They're NAIA. They could get whoever they wanted.
I mean, they were like.
I know to tell you too, guys. I recruited against Carson Newman, Central Michigan. We didn't go that far north.
Or Central State of Ohio is what I was talking about. Yeah.
Carson Newman would take a kid in school if he hit by the heat. There was no academic standards for him to get in school.
Yeah.
And again, where did that come from? That comes from the philosophy of the university. I'm just telling you, why do you think Scuba at East Central Mississippi has the junior college program every year in the nation? Because they get, they have a philosophy over there that they're going to take kids, regardless of their background, and keep them for a year or 2, and win football games. And they take kids that half the other junior colleges in Mississippi won't take.
And I wouldn't doubt if they didn't get money back from some of these guys that made it big. You know, I imagine those schools get money back.
Those are the things you never know. You never know. And I can almost guarantee you there's some D1 colleges, and they'll help the coaches. They don't help the players, but they can help the coaches along.
Yeah.
And they'll give them some consulting fees. They'll invite them to come to work at their camps and give them a lot of money. That's all I can say.
Max, what's happening? What's the news out there?
Well, right now, of course, this is the media days. This is the big thing. I did 2 radio shows this week already, just concerning media days coming back from Atlanta to Birmingham, and thank goodness it is. And it's and everybody's waiting on what's the big story. Right now it looks like A&M and LSU probably, and what's Florida going to do? Can they compete with Georgia? What is Georgia? Georgia. If they lose their starting quarterback, they don't have anybody hardly to take a snap behind him. And there's just a lot of little stories that are starting to bloom.
Huge stories. Who's going to be the quarterback at Auburn?
Do what now?
Huge stories. Who's going to be the quarterback at Auburn?
Yeah, right now, who will start at Auburn quarterback?
That's a great question. Is Gus going to battle the political pressure and start Bo Nix against Oregon? Or Gatewood going to get the start because he's been there a year and a half. So, I don't know. Those are the questions. You know what? I don't know that they know, to be honest with you, Mike. I think those are the questions, though, that's going to be asked, and it'll be all kind. It'll be a story that'll break while we're there. I think it's 15th through the 18th of this month. So I can't wait to get there to get a chance to see. And I hope the number of radio people dropped last year because Atlanta didn't have facilities to handle radio. But I hope it comes back to 50 or 60 radio stations that cover media days this year.
Max, let me tell you.
That's hard to believe that Atlanta couldn't have a facility. As many places have been built in Atlanta that they couldn't have enough for radio. That's hard to believe the SEC would make that decision.
But I'm telling you, it goes back to the organization and what they want. They don't want a bunch of small town radio people. I'm just telling you. The SEC doesn't want that. They want the big markets. What are they after? And watch. Expansion hadn't raised its ugly head lately, but when it does, you'll think, well, where they gonna go? Go try to get Florida State or what? No, they probably gonna go to the East Coast and go after North Carolina and North Carolina State because they want those TV markets. Yeah. And that's what it's all about now. It's all about the numbers and the big numbers in markets that the SEC can control.
Everybody tells me that I talk to Auburn fans is that Malzahn will have to be at least 9-3 and beat either Alabama or Georgia at home to keep his job.
I think it's close.
I think that's going to be really, really tough. And you're basically either counting on a freshman or a redshirt sophomore to do it. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. But then you got a I guess it'll be down to $25 million buyout.
Yeah, right. Well, that money was raised last year. I can tell you, I know that for a fact. But the fact is they gave him another chance. They gave him a chance. He made the moves. A couple of things. Look at his recruiting class. How many big running backs did he sign? That's been his downfall the last 2 years. He's been trying to win the ball first, throw second. A lot of play action stuff. If the offensive line comes back, it was awful last year. It comes back intact this year. They should be a little bit better. But look at the schedule, guys. I mean, it is as tough as anybody in the country.
Oh, yeah.
I don't see how they get 9 wins. I'll be honest. I think 7 or 8 is probably going to be the top.
And right off the bat against Oregon's going to be loaded and have a lot of people think Oregon's quarterback's the best in the country.
Yeah, Justin Herbert.
Yeah, I don't think it's any doubt. They're going to come,
And that head coach at Oregon is hard-nosed, too. They'll be physical, too.
Yeah, he was in Alabama for a while, and he's got a pretty good track record.
Yeah.
They're going to be ranked in the top 10, and they got speed to burn. And
I'll tell you what, they wore out Troy a few times when he was at Florida International too.
Yeah. Max, let's say this: the big difference now than 20, 25 years ago is camps. All of them have these camps. Troy's already got 10 commitments for 2020 class. They've never had that many this time of year. And most of them are big linemen. I mean, they got big linemen that are coming in here. I reckon you can't get enough, can you?
You cannot. I mean, every one one of those kids, we always talk about the transfer, particularly in the quarterback position, Mike. Every one of those kids have to remember they're one turned ankle away from getting to play. I mean, Troy went through some of that last year, as far as injuries are concerned.
And they call it
those select camps that they have, where they go after the commitments.
Yeah.
That's one of the invitational camps, and that's almost like a tryout.
Yeah, and think of this though, Max. We've talked about this. Let's say a kid's at Auburn's camp, and Malzahn, Malzahn calls the kid in. Evidently, they can legally do this. I don't know. And that kid's sitting in front of him. He's been around all of this big stadium and all these great food and all these pretty girls walking around with him and whatever. And I'm sure Malzahn said, we want a tight end. We're going to sign one tight end, son, and we want it to be you. And but if you don't sign or commit to us today, we're gonna have to pick up somebody else. They put that kind of pressure on them, don't they?
But Mike, they'll say, yeah, we're gonna commit, and a week later they'll flip the commitment.
I know. That's what I'm wondering. That's what I'm wondering.
The commitment no longer. In fact, when the kids and even before I got out of it, we knew if a kid committed early, whether it was with us or somebody else, the job became harder to keep him than it is to get him.
And then Auburn or Alabama might have 3 or 4 tight ends that they've got commitments from, and then they'll come back later on when all is all said and done, say, son, I'm sorry, we'll have to let our commitment to you go because of so. The college will come back and pick the one of the 3 and go with that. Is that right?
Well, they usually make arrangements for those families and with somebody else to pick them up. You don't want to leave a kid out there at the end dangling. You know what it does? You can't go back to that school again. Yeah.
But it's happened. It's happened a lot of times, especially with the big guys.
Yeah, those decisions are made inside the staff. But the minute it's made, say they got 4, they're gonna take 1. The other 3, they'll be getting phone calls. Said, here's a list of schools. Tell me where you want to go, and we'll call and see if we can get you there.
Yeah. And most of the time, it would probably be a non-SEC school, though, wouldn't you think?
Most of the time, they don't want to have to play against them.
Yeah, right? Exactly. And
the difference in today is than yesterday when the numbers were when they had unlimited numbers, Johnny Ball, Bear Bryant, Chuck Jordan, Wally Butts, they just go sign them anyway. They just sign them.
Oh yeah. It didn't matter, did it?
No, they had unlimited numbers.
Thank goodness you have rules, to go by now. And, of course, again, these camps, all right, I watched a 7-on-7 at Troy the other day. I bet there was 1,000 kids out there, Max, at a 7-on-7. But it's and see, evidently these college coaches can stand up, out of his office and say, well, Gus sure is a pretty kid. Why don't we talk to him? And they might liable to talk to 10, 15 guys about coming to Troy,
Mike, they'll have, by the time those kids get there, the coaches already know who they are.
Yeah.
I mean, occasionally you're going to find one that'll blossom late, but normally they already know, particularly let's just take the 7-on-7 deal. The juniors and seniors, they already know where the players are.
Yeah.
They've been watching those kids since they were 9th and 10th graders.
The best thing ever happened to Troy.
I believe Troy has already got 14 commitments for the 2020 class. When has Troy ever had 14 already committed?
Well, see, that's
pretty incredible.
That's Chip Lindsey's experience at Division I. See, they know you got to reach down and get them quick. But I'm telling you, once again, guys, the hardest job is to hang on to them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly.
It's just because what people do during the season, during the recruiting meetings, they'll have every college coach will have a list, particularly the SEC, of those kids that they're looking at that they have already committed, and if they know they want that kid moves to the top of the recruiting efforts. Get him to every home ball game. Make sure everything is academics in line. The head coach can only make one visit to their home now. But they'll do what Coach Saban was noted for, called the bump rule, where they show up on campus and they'll bump into them and say hello. There's 100 reasons for the way they make those things work.
Oh yeah, no question about it. But it's fun and it's exciting. And I tell you two things, Max, that have changed things for the better, I think, especially for schools like Troy. You remember Troy had, in December, they had 14 or 15 signees in December. All right, the early signing. All right, then come February, they didn't sign but 3 or 4, maybe 5. But at the time, Auburn and Alabama could not go back to those guys because they'd already signed with Troy. It's the best thing in the world for these mid-level teams, wouldn't you think?
It is. Oh, I don't think there's any doubt about it, Mike. That's the same thing happened when they reduced the numbers. When they cut it, so when I first started, I think it was 50 or 60, and then they cut it down. When I left, you had 25, and then nobody signs all at 25 anymore. It's usually 22 or 23. But those numbers, when those numbers came down, the Southern Miss, the Troys, and that level across the country really benefited from top quality players.
Because these kids are afraid they're going to be left out sometimes, because so they go ahead and sign early.
Yep, that's
Alabama and Auburn, I'm sure, probably saying that we're going to probably come back on you now, so don't do anything. We're probably going to come back on you.
But see, they'll tell them anything. Just remember, they'll tell them anything.
And another thing people got to understand too, there are a lot of Division I-A talent out there today that wasn't out there years ago. There's so many more guys to pick from.
Guys, the high school talent today is way better than it was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, these kids show up ready to play. And then, another rule that they allow them to enroll in January.
All right.
That means, by September, those kids are on campus almost a year. So they're not they're not just single-day freshmen anymore.
And the kid,
ready to play.
The kid at Auburn is the perfect example of what this new rule does. Here he is. He's Nix. He's a guru, and a lot of people, of course, felt like he's the best quarterback in Alabama last year. Well, he goes ahead and signs with Auburn, and he goes in January. He's now went through a complete spring practice. He's been through their off season since January, and heck, it's like he is a sophomore to be. Doesn't that sound like?
That's the maturity aspect of it, guys, that they're able to do, and that, I don't disagree with that. If academically the kids decide that's what they want to make go, remember they aren't going to graduate from high school. Normally they aren't just awarded a diploma. Most of those kids had to go to summer school and work to get their credits to get there.
Yeah.
And that was a dedication and an effort on their part. Then you got to be not only eligible to play, but you got to be athletically capable of playing at that level.
Well, another bit.
Tallulah and Paul Tyson did the same thing in Alabama. They started in January.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No question.
Tyson played the role as Trevor Lawrence in preparation for Clemson, and boy, did he do a great job.
Mike, I'm gonna tell you, brother, they academic error, they ain't nowhere near ready to play in the Southeast Conference. I don't know whether you watched the spring game or not, but I'm telling you, they ain't no way.
I thought Tallulah looked decent. I thought the Tyson looked like he needed about 3 more years.
Right, I agree with you.
Hey, he's Bear Bryant's grandson.
No, but remember, he's not as big as his brother. That kid got out in high school.
Dad and I saw him play live when Thompson of Alabaster played at Mountain Brook, and I tell you, he looked a lot bigger than 5'11" on the field, though. He looked closer to 6 foot.
And what that kid could do was run. He's a lot faster. I believe he can run the ball better than the guy they got now.
I wasn't gonna say, guy. I called 2 of his ball games. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I know this. He ran against Mountain Brook, but that's a high school team, I tell you, another great rule, Max, and I know you agree with this, is now what they do. Everybody's gone to semesters. It was different when you were in the quarter system, but with the semesters, they have 2 semesters during the summer. And so the first semester, they can come in and whatever, but the NCAA now allows all of their team, the whole team, to come in this last week. The whole team can go ahead and enroll in school, and they got them there, and they got them acclimated. They're getting them acclimated now in class. You remember back in the days, old days, August 1st, they came to Troy, and they practiced for 3 weeks, and then one day in the latter part of August, they say, well, now we want to show you what classes you're going to be taking. and they got to get used to or acclimated to college life, you know.
Well, they didn't offer scholarships in the summertime. You couldn't afford to pay them.
That's right. That's right. That's what I'm saying. Excuse me. That is the rest of the story. I didn't add that. That now they pay for it when once not too long ago they didn't pay for it.
That's the reason they're allowed to come, and that's the reason they're there. But the whole thing is that now that first semester summer school is important. But guys, just remember the good ones. If you sign 25, anywhere from 15 to 20 of them's going to show up in January.
Yeah, that's right. And another thing, too, how many of them did you used to say, well, I've got you a job, got you a job, got you a job? You don't see that anymore.
You can't work them anymore.
Hey, those kids, some of those kids don't even have money to buy ice cream.
No, you're right. I was on that soapbox.
Well, y'all did something about it.
But see, remember the rules allowed us to do it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Look, remember we got there. We were NAIA trying to get to Division II, and the NCAA allowed us to, almost in the playing rules, allowed us to choose what rules we're going to play by.
Yeah.
That was one of my jobs. Every time a bus would show up, I'd have to go to the opposing coach for the, find out, if we're on the road, are we playing NAIA, Division? It was the boogaboo. When they said, we got a combination, I walked in there and gave me a sheet of rules, 10 rules we're going to play by tonight. You don't think that wasn't a headache? We like to got beat a couple of times the second year before Hal got hurt.
Yeah, exactly.
We went to Central Arkansas, and they had a sheet of rules of 10 rules, of which in NCAA you couldn't advance the fumble, and NAIA and their rule you could.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, by NCAA, we lost a touchdown on the first fumble. We made it back to the end zone.
No question about it.
I can just give you a bunch of examples like that.
Yeah.
That the rules play a major role in it.
No question about it. We're talking to Max Howell, and of course he's our guest. Max, I know you're busy this week, but now when is the actual media days in the SEC?
Birmingham at the Galleria.
And
right at the hotel.
When will it be, though? When does it start?
When does it start?
Yeah.
July 15th.
15th. And after July 15th, ladies and gentlemen, is football is here. Isn't that right?
No doubt. That's it. But that's the commissioner will address a group to start with, all the coaches. And then each day there's one coach and two players. And it'll be 4 days of it.
Yeah.
I've read the schedule. I have not memorized it yet, but I'm going to try to show up most every day.
I'll tell you another thing they've implemented too. They don't call it this, but it's the same thing. Now they feed them 4 times a day, Max. I mean, really, they actually have a feed in house, just like they have breakfast. They have to sign in for breakfast. And same way for lunch, and then same way for dinner. They have coaches there to make sure that they're there for those meals. But now they've thrown in another.
All the milkshakes and all the bars and stuff they get for free as well.
Well, what I'm saying now, they've got around mid-afternoon, Max. They got another meal. You know what I mean?
Well, think about it, guys. They show up at 6'5", 220, and you turn around, they're 6'5", 300.
You're exactly right.
Overnight.
You're exactly right, and so there's.
Listen, I got to be in Birmingham in a couple hours.
Okay, well, listen, we appreciate it. One quick thing now. A lot of people got their pens and things ready. What's for dinner, Max? What's for dinner?
Man, I did a shrimp boil this past weekend. It was absolutely fantastic. I put some corn and potatoes, and we do it the Louisiana style. I did the sides are always the same when I do shrimp, just like fish.
Do you use big shrimp? What size shrimp do you use?
I use the big ones, man. I use the one that's thumb size,
Yeah.
1820.
And you use that famous Auburn corn on the cob too, don't you? What is it?
The little short one.
Yeah.
We pull the heads. We leave the rest of it on. It's up to you.
Yeah. I agree now. Yeah, I know people that don't pull their heads, and I agree. I want those heads pulled.
Yeah, we do pull the heads before we go. We do. But we do the sides and you know, the coleslaw, and sometimes I do a mustard potato salad with it for people who get tired of it.
Are you going to have this is a question I had recently. Are you going to have a new book out by Christmas?
Not by Christmas. I don't have time. I got it all. I got 1,000 recipes sitting in a box right here. I already got the opening and the closing written. I don't have time to continue.
Well, a friend of mine.
I got another company I got on the road right now. That's why I'm going to Birmingham and Coleman this morning.
All right, tell me how first of all, before you let you go, this mud pie that you're so famous for. Tell us how you how do you do that?
That's a 3-layer chocolate. We start with a plain chocolate cake. 3 layers. I lay up.
Is this devil food? Is this white?
No, it's devil food.
All right, devil food. I got you.
I put a layer of chocolate syrup and pecans, a cake, chocolate syrup and pecans, a cake, chocolate syrup, pecans, and top it coming right from the oven with 2 scoops of vanilla ice cream.
Boo, boy. That sounds great, and you can't beat it. Max, we appreciate you very much, my friend, and hope to hear from you next week and give us a good report.
I'll do it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. That's Max Howell, a very well-known radio and television analyst, of course, former Troy coach, former Florida State coach, with former Coach Emmett Smith at Pensacola High School, and of course he was at Ole Miss for a pretty good while under Billy Brewer. But we appreciate him very much. I hope that you are enjoying this. We lay back and talk like we're talking at the coffee shop. I hope that you enjoy it, and you're welcome to call in and add to some of this. You know, college football has changed so much about the way they do things, and I remember. And here comes a call right here. Good morning. How you doing?
You just cut me off.
All right. Okay, I got you. I'm sorry about that. Mike Amos calling in from.
Are you on commercial?
No, but we're going to right now. We'll be back in just a moment.
Troy Cable Security makes it easy to stay aware and stay in control of your home wherever you are. User-friendly interface allows easy navigation for lights, locks thermostat, video, and garage doors. Never worry about leaving your garage door open or the front door unlocked. Your mobile app can send alerts to your phone for alarm and no alarm events. Know when your children arrive home from school with video response. Make sure your home is powered by Troy Cable Security for ultimate access, awareness, and protection.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
Hey folks, are you tired of spending hard-earned money on a gas grill only to have it burn up in less than 2 years? Not to mention burning your food. Here at Southern Grill and Patio in Troy, Alabama, we carry the Holland Grill line. They've been around since 1988, and there are people right here in Troy that have had theirs for over 20 years. These grills are guaranteed not to flare up.
You can grill, steam, or smoke on your new Holland Grill today. Come see us at Southern Grill and Patio in Troy, Alabama, inside Town & Country Flooring Center.
Are you a driver trainee just finishing school and want to drive an automatic truck? Then call Wiley Sanders Truck Line. Right, Fuzzy? We have automatic trucks. That's right. And we will reimburse you for your driver training. No pets? Not at Wiley Sanders Truck Line. At Wiley Sanders Truck Line, we thought of everything. We thought of the kennel for your fuzzy friend. Right, Fuzzy? Tell them about it. Wiley Sanders Truck Line, Troy, Alabama. Come drive for the best today. Wiley Sanders Truck Line. Wiley Sanders Truck Line. Tell them, Fuzzy.
About later, but back to our show, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you by our first car, Harbor Bank, and they're located on the corner of Johnny Withington Drive and the Publix Boulevard, and a beautiful, beautiful bank, and they've been in business a long time and great people. Town and Country Flooring, want to say good morning to Scott and Lana Hartley, and boy, they've got flooring like you won't believe, and they do a great job. And also, you're looking for a grill, they've got the best grills in town. I want to mention yesterday was a big, big anniversary celebration, 50th anniversary of Troy Regional Medical Center, and they had a big event going on, Mike, and they honored a very good friend of yours, Cheryl Crow, for his many, many years as chairman of the board at Troy Regional Medical Center.
Yeah, that's great to hear. I talked to Blake yesterday, so that's definitely great that they honored him. I'll be honest, I thought that hospital had been there more than 50 years.
No, it had, but it has been there. But you're right. It was Edge, formerly Edge Hospital, or it started as Edge Hospital, and then they had a few name changes, and it's been there. It's been there for 50 years. You're right.
That's 1969, I guess.
Yeah, and then we had a hospital down on just off of gosh, what's the name of that street? Walnut Street. You had that hospital, and that's where a hospital where I was born, and that was let's see, 50 years, Mike. 2019. That would be 1969. 1969, yeah, when that hospital was built.
We landed on the moon, didn't we?
Yeah, it seemed like it, doesn't it? And of course, we appreciate it. Let me pick up this phone. I'm gonna put you on hold. Good morning, you on Today in L.A. How you doing?
Hey, Mike, Will Matthews.
I knew you'd be calling in. We're not going to talk any about Vanderbilt baseball. We feel like they're all crooked.
No, Tim Corbin is the Nick Saban of baseball.
I'm cut up. Let me bring Mike in here. Let me put you on hold. Got both of them on hold, and we're going to go bang, 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 and bang, bang, bang. Well, one more. I got you, Will, is that right? Or Mike? I got you, Mike? I got to pull him in here, and we'll be ready. All right, got both of you. How you doing? Mike, you there too, aren't you, Mike?
Yeah.
Listen to what he just got through saying. I was being facetious, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk about Vanderbilt and their big win in the College World Series. Mike, he thinks that this coach at Vanderbilt hung the moon. Is that right?
What, Coach Corbin?
Yep.
How long has he been in Vanderbilt, Will?
I think 12 or 13 years. I'm not sure.
Boy, he's built a program, hasn't he?
You know, he came from Clemson. He was coach at Clemson and then hit the assistant coach from Vanderbilt, left and started the program at Michigan. So he was going up against one of his
Isn't that something?
at Michigan.
Isn't that something?
I tell you what, man, the Vanderbilt's fun to watch. They've got so many great hitters up and down that lineup, and their top players, a kid from Panama City Beach, Florida, they hit 27 home runs.
Really?
You know, Vanderbilt hit more home runs in this year than any other team. They hit 101 home runs.
And that is phenomenal. Oh, man.
They also had more strikeouts than their pitchers had more strikeouts than any team in the country.
Yeah.
You know, Dad and I have been to that stadium, Will, to watch a regional before. When you were in college there at Vanderbilt, was that stadium in the same place, or did they move it later?
It was in the same place. Now, they used to have a hill with grass on it. Most of the students stayed on the hill. But I think they put seats where that was.
Well, let me tell you this. You used to could hit the basketball arena down the third base line. Isn't that right?
Oh, yeah, you can still do that.
I mean, the basketball arena was just hanging down the left field line, it's really right there, just packed in, there between the football stadium and the basketball arena.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, I tell you what, somebody's gotten behind that program, and I don't know if it's money or what, or this coach is just really that great.
He's got 13 players drafted this year into the major leagues.
Isn't that amazing? Boy, oh boy.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Evidently, it's got a tie with some of these scouts. A lot of times when you got that many, your scout will send a player, a kid to a school. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Or recommend that he go to a school.
Vanderbilt's got 12 guys playing professional baseball right now.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, one of them is the shortstop for the Braves.
One or two hitter last night for the Texas.
Yeah, they got Sonny Gray, and then Dansby Swanson's having a great year for the Braves at shortstop.
Yeah.
And that's Cuda Swanson.
The greatest pitcher they've ever had come out of there is the David Price. I mean, he might be a Major League Hall of Famer one day.
He is a great pitcher, left-hander.
Well, I was looking at last night, as far as Corbin, I think they've been in the College World Series now. What did they say, 5 or 6 times?
I think he's been there 5 times. He's won it twice and lost in the finals once.
Yeah. So tell me an SEC school that doesn't have a good baseball program. I mean, SEC is so good. Alabama, you're right. Alabama might be the worst team in the SEC.
Well, I mean, they got three straight losing seasons.
And you look at the rest of the teams, I mean, they're great. I mean, Arkansas, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, LSU, Tennessee, Auburn, all of these. Kentucky's got a good program.
Georgia's always good.
Georgia is good. I mean, the worst team in the SEC is Alabama. And they could have gotten Bobby. They could have gotten Bobby, Mike, and no telling where they'd be if they'd hired Bobby.
That's how they got Bobby Pierce.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they didn't do it.
Yeah. But I don't know what they're going to do, but they're down compared to everybody else, it seems like.
I was telling Dad, Will, that James Franklin was at every single one of those games. The Penn State coach was in the Vandy section sitting there. He must have a great relationship with Corbin.
They are best friends. In fact, they've got beach houses down at Grayton Beach together down there where you are.
I didn't know they were in Grayton. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, James Franklin. It might be Destin, but I mean it's right down there. James Franklin's got one and Corbin's got one.
What is it called? What is it called?
I don't know. They've got places down there.
Oh, they got places down there. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure a lot of Vanderbilt fans would dream of the days of him being the head coach there again instead of Mason.
Yeah. Well, Mason was there the first day. They lost. And then he went on back.
Well, gosh, it's got to be the hardest place in the country to win because of academics. I mean, you run into that big at Vanderbilt, don't you?
Hey, Mike, they said last night there are 12 players on the Vanderbilt team with a 3.0 average.
Isn't that amazing? Let me ask you something, Will. You've been there and done that. What is the cost of a scholarship at Vanderbilt compared to, say, Alabama or Auburn?
Oh, it's at least 3 or 4 times what it costs to go there.
I mean, so they had to spend a lot more money for scholarships than the other schools do, don't they?
The tuition at Vanderbilt now is $60,000. That's
God.
That does not include food, room, anything else, books.
Now, is that for the year? It's for the year now.
Yeah, 1 year.
Yeah.
1 year.
Isn't that amazing?
Oh, yeah.
Boy, oh boy, I don't know how people do it. And then, you think about these programs have got to, well, baseball is crazy. Why in the world does baseball have just 11 scholarships? How in the world does that work? Doesn't that work crazy?
Mike, when I went to Alabama Law School, guess what the tuition was at Alabama Law School?
$20,000, $25,000.
Try $250 a semester.
What, at Alabama?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
That's what it was.
But why would it be at Vanderbilt or somewhere like that? Or Virginia?
It's $60,000 a year, yeah.
How about the University of Virginia? What would their cost of their law school be?
I read some one day that the average graduate out of Vanderbilt University, the average graduate makes over $120,000 a in a year, though.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's
Just from that education.
And what I'm saying, that's right to start. What you're saying is to start. Is that right?
Yeah, start.
Yeah, I mean, starting salary. Isn't that amazing? We appreciate Trojan Auto Parts today. Mike Kilcrease, the cleanest, best auto parts in the country. We appreciate them very much. Got Will Matthews, the attorney, is on our line.
Hey, Mike, do you know what a Vanderbilt graduate tells a Tennessee graduate when he comes to his front door?
No, I don't know.
He says, "How much is the pizza?"
Oh, boy. Well, you know, I know this.
I wonder how bad Tennessee's baseball coach wish Rocker's son would have gone and played at Tennessee instead of Vandy, because Tracy Rocker is the defensive line coach under Jeremy Pruitt. I'm sure there's a lot of Tennessee fans that would love for him to transfer.
Well, that's not going to happen.
I know.
Yeah. And I tell you what, I'd love to be that boy's agent, because he's going to get mega bucks when he gets drafted.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he already turned down millions of dollars because his mom really wanted him to go to Vanderbilt and get an education.
Did he play football at all in high school or anything?
I don't know. He's 6'4", 255.
Somebody.
He can throw that baseball as hard as anybody I've ever seen.
Now, Rocker also had a brother that played at Auburn, didn't he?
Yeah, David Rocker.
David Rocker. I wonder if he had any baseball players. Where was Tracy living at the time? Tracy was over at Tech at one time, wasn't he? Georgia Tech, wasn't he? Or where was he?
Tracy was at Auburn for a long time, and then he was with the Tennessee Titans for a long time.
He coached here at Troy for a long time under Coach Blakeney. Was a great coach. I tell you what, buddy. He's the one that coached Hugh Manure and Coach Ware, Mike.
Nah, Tracy was there before. He was there in the early Blakeney days. He was there in the 90s.
He didn't coach Hugh Manure and some old big defensive lineman?
Tracy Rocker was on Coach Blakeney's first staff.
But how long was he there, though? He was here 10 years.
He's there 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. And, of course, great coach. And, of course, evidently his son's been great. I want to mention the Troy Bells defeated Rehoboth 22-9. Boy, they won their district tournament. Now they get ready to play in the state. Will Matthews from the Matthews Law Firm is calling us today. Will, I know you've been to the beach. Man, the crowds are just pouring in down there. Man, it's just it's really, really growing.
Yes, it is. It is. It's hard to get around once you're down there.
Let me tell you, and it's something Michael. I don't know if Michael started doing it. We now order our donuts. We call ahead and order the donuts, and when we get there, there's a little side window right near where they do the ice cream, and it's right there, and you just go up there and say, "I want to get my order." And those people, other people, have been waiting an hour to get donuts.
Oh yeah, I haven't done that yet. I'll have to try that.
Exactly. Now your
buddy Kevin Strillman's in second place right now at the golf tournament at Rocket Mortgage Classic in Detroit, Michigan. Didn't you play an event with Kevin Strillman in Tuscaloosa, Will?
Yes, yeah, and he and I have become friends, and his daddy-in-law, Jeff Caples, lives in Tuscaloosa. He just retired. He was the hospital administrator at Druid City. And he just retired. He's young, too. He's not much older than me. He's like a year older than me. And Kevin and Courtney, they've got 2 kids. He's really not had a good year this year, but he won the Travelers a couple years ago, and he birdied the last 8 holes in a row.
Thank you so much, friend. Thank you.
And then he played at Duke, didn't he, in college?
He did. He played at Duke. Courtney, his wife, went to Alabama, and then she went to graduate school at Duke. And I think she's a year or 2 older than him, and they met at Duke. And they've got 2 kids, real young kids. But he's a great guy.
Also, Patton Kazire is one shot back as well. Patton Kazire is a kid that is from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and actually played college golf at Auburn. And he won 2 times last year on the PGA Tour. Have you ever met him as well?
I have, and I've played with him before.
Yeah.
And
He's a big guy. He's like 6'5", isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, he's a tall kid and really hits the ball a long way.
Will, golf's got to be more balanced now than ever before. I mean, of course, I know Copa and some of them, but I mean, you don't know who's going to win any golf tournament. Don't you agree?
Well, there are a lot of superstars now.
Well, Brooks is number 1, Dustin is number 2, Rory is number 3, and Justin Rose is 4. Tiger is the 5th-rated player in the world. Can you believe that?
Let him win the British Open, and he'll be number 1.
I know it now, Will. I remember when you didn't say that about Tiger. What has he done to make such a big change? Is it mental?
No, he's gotten healthy. He's been in bad shape. He's gotten healthy. And he still hadn't forgot how to play golf.
Yeah. Will, let me ask you a thing. What's the best driver out there? Everybody claims they got the best driver. What's the best driver? TaylorMade, or what is it?
I just bought one from Titleist, and it's phenomenal.
A Titleist driver.
The Titleist driver, and it's got a they call it a senior shaft in it. And I picked up at least 10 or 15 yards when I bought it.
Yeah.
And I played with it maybe 3 or 4 times, and it's phenomenal, the difference.
Now, all you got to do is go over to your sporting goods store there in Dothan, and they've got more drivers that you can that you can find anywhere. Where did you buy that driver?
Well, actually, the Titleist rep came to the Dothan Country Club, and they had a fitting thing where you hit balls with launch monitors and all this other stuff, and they fit you with a club, and so actually I bought it from the pro.
You know, a friend of mine used to be the ping guy. You know him, former Mississippi State player. He was real good friends with the O2s, Mike, and he lived in Birmingham. You know, Nick, you know who I'm talking about? Will. Ping, what happened to Ping? Do they still have a good driver?
I think they've got good clubs. I play Ping irons.
All right, let me tell you, I was at our pro shop day before yesterday, and I was looking at the pros driver, and you know how they've changed our football helmets now, or a lot of them have no gloss. You know, they used to have the old plain black and no gloss. Well, his driver was like that. It was no gloss, but it was a good-looking driver, and it was a Ping.
You talking about Tony?
Yeah, Tony Mitchell.
Yeah.
And that was just the driver he uses, you know. And I've got several drivers right now, and I've got, it's hard for me to, I'd have to have a guy that can really hit a golf ball to see which one of them is really the best driver.
You know, Tony is my age, and he can still play. I mean,
yeah. You know, he played at Memphis, and his brother is the pro at the Memphis Country Club. Did you know that?
Now, hey, I want you to write this name down.
Okay.
Doug Barron.
Okay. Now I know the tournament's going on in Dothan right now. Doug Barron.
Doug Barron is 49 years and 11 months old.
Okay.
He turns 50 next month.
Yeah.
He's making his debut on the senior tour at the Senior British Open on July the 22nd, I think, or 24th.
Isn't that something? Now, where is he from?
Yeah. He's from Memphis.
Okay.
And anyway, I played with him recently. He had 9 birdies in 18 holes.
Golly.
I mean, he is a phenomenal player.
Yeah.
And he's going to do well on the senior tour. Now, he used to play the PGA Tour and was in a car wreck about 15 years ago that ended his golf career.
Yeah.
So he didn't even pick up a club for he was really messed up in a car wreck, his shoulder and arms. Anyway, somebody said, you ought to go see James Andrews. So he went to see James Andrews down in Destin or somewhere. I think think he's got.
Yeah, he's got a place in Pensacola area or Navarre, somewhere down there.
Somewhere down there. He went down there, and James Andrews said, "Let me tell you something, young man. I can fix your shoulder. You'll never be able to play golf again. I can fix your shoulder, and I doubt you'll ever get. You'll be able to play a little bit, but not
competitive. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, 3 years ago he had surgery. He has probably hit 1 million golf balls since then.
Oh me.
I mean, every day for like 6 or 8 hours, he's worked and got in shape and run and all that. And he's been playing these mini tours with Gino Solano. You know, he's had them in Troy before.
Oh yeah, Gino's my buddy. Yeah.
Well, he's won 5 of them this year.
Yeah. Well, that is something. I am proud for him.
5 of them.
Now let me ask you this: talking about those guys, who's our guy from LaGrange that was so good on the senior tour for a long? What?
Alan Doyle.
Yeah. Now, what is Alan Doyle doing? Is he's in his 60s now, though, isn't he?
He's pushing 70 now.
But can he still play, or is he too old?
He doesn't play the tour anymore. He got too old.
Yeah.
But he's probably 70 years old.
Yeah.
Look him up.
But Will, he wasn't much different than you. I mean, in fact, Alan Doyle didn't even play college golf, did he?
He ran a driving range over at Grange.
That's right.
And he lives in Panama City in one of the big condos down by Captain Anderson's.
Yeah.
And he used to play at the Ombre all the time. And
why did the Ombre close, Will? Why did it close?
It closed after the hurricane. They never reopened it.
And isn't that unreal? And I rode by there the other day, and it just made me sick to see the fairways and the greens were full of weeds now, you know. Let me ask you this. What's happening to golf right now? Enterprise, their Tartan Pines is closed now. And they say that the Enterprise Country Club is not doing as well as it could or should, How about Dothan? Are any of those guys closing down, or you don't see what I'm saying? You don't see anybody building golf courses right now for some reason.
Dothan is wide open. I mean, Dothan's doing well. I think everywhere in Dothan's doing good.
And then, of course, you mean Olympia Spa and all those? I mean, Olympia and all them still open?
Yeah, I don't know what it's called now, but it is open. Yeah.
Well, where else can you play golf in Dothan?
You got the Trent Jones Golf Trail. They got 30.
Oh yeah, I know about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But now you don't play that course much. You play the Dothan Country Club mostly, don't you?
I do. In fact, I lived out there by the Trent Jones course for 12 years, and I think I played it maybe 12 times in 12 years.
Well, and I made it. Why, Will?
I just never had any interest in playing there. The country club is so good. I mean, the course is so good.
And then, and also the people you play with. Golf's not fun unless you play with people you want to play with.
That's right.
That had a lot to do with it. Of course, the Future Masters is going on. Have you heard any big names out there?
Well, the two Dothan boys.
One of them's Hal Dove. One of them's Hal Dove.
Yep, and Thomas Ponder. They've won it the last 2 years, and they're battling this year to see who can win it twice.
Now, is Dove going to college now, or is he still in high school?
Still in high school, but he's going to Auburn this fall, and Ponder's going to Alabama. So
okay, and
both of them are staying in the state.
All right, now when will they have their championships? Is it still going on?
It starts today, 3 days.
All right, so you could, like if I want to ride down there and watch some golf, I could. Is that right?
Absolutely.
I bet it'd be fun to watch those guys.
It's free of charge, and if you get tired, you can go in the clubhouse and eat. And
I might do that.
Whatever you want to do.
That might be a good way to get together. But of course, these are some of the best in the country. Is that right? Young players.
Actually, there are 9 foreign countries and 38 states represented this week.
Will, we got to go, man. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, the Matthews Law Firm in Ozark, Alabama. We'll see you tomorrow, man. Take care. And you take care, too. We'll be back tomorrow morning bright and early for Today in L.A. We'll see you then.